Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. Get ready to fly or die in the breathtaking follow-up to Fourth Wing and Iron Flame. Chapter 1. A glimpse into the storm. The air crackled with the electric hum of impending death. Bullets whizzed past, tearing through the humid air, punctuated by the deafening roar of automatic weapons. A storm of adrenaline coursed through Onyx, her senses hyper-alert. She was a blur of motion, a whirlwind of coordinated chaos, her SEAL team a synchronized symphony of destruction. Each member, a honed instrument, playing their part in the deadly ballet. Onyx's focus was laser-sharp, her gaze fixed on the enemy, a cold, calculating predator. She moved with a grace that belied her brutal efficiency, her every move honed by years of rigorous training, her heart a steady drumbeat against the symphony of carnage. This was her life, her domain, a place where she thrived, where the adrenaline fueled her, where her skills reigned supreme. But the battlefield was not just a place of action. It was a crucible for the soul. The deafening roar of battle masked a silent whisper, a haunting echo of a past she couldn't escape. Her father's ghost, a phantom of a love lost, a memory etched in her soul. He was a shadow that followed her, a constant reminder of the fragility of life, of the pain that lurked beneath the steel facade. The chapter concludes with a hard-won victory. The enemy subdued, but the battle scars remained. The victory was bittersweet, a reminder of the price paid for survival. Yet, it was a testament to Onyx's resilience, a glimpse into her unwavering strength, a foreshadowing of the perilous journey that awaited her. This scene, a visceral, action-packed introduction, sets the stage for a story that transcends the battlefield. It unveils Onyx, a warrior who carries the weight of her past, battling not just external enemies but also the demons of her own memory. The reader is left with a tantalizing glimpse of a character who is fierce, complex, and haunted, ready to fight not only for her own survival but for a truth that is yet to be revealed. Chapter 2. Fury's Shadow. The plan takes shape. The air hung heavy with the scent of salt and anticipation. Onyx stood on the deck of the sleek black sailboat, his eyes scanning the horizon. Fury, his teammate and close friend, joined him, his rugged features etched with the same blend of determination and worry that Onyx felt. "Ready?" Fury asked, his voice gravelly but reassuring. Onyx nodded, his gaze fixed on the distant coastline. "Let's do this." The mission had escalated quickly. They were tasked with infiltrating a heavily fortified island, a stronghold for a notorious arms dealer who planned to unleash havoc upon the world. The stakes were high, the consequences dire. Fury, ever the strategist, laid out their plan. "We'll approach from the north, utilizing the cover of the cliffs. We'll use the high tide to our advantage, taking an inflatable raft to the beach. Once ashore, we'll rely on your skills, Onyx, to silence the guards." Onyx, the team's silent, lethal sniper, was known for his near-unparalleled marksmanship. He ran a hand through his short black hair, the weight of the mission settling on his shoulders. "I won't fail," he stated, his voice emotionless, a testament to years of training instilled in him an unwavering discipline. "I know you won't," Fury replied, his voice laced with confidence, a deep understanding of Onyx's abilities shining through. "But we can't afford any slips. We need to be precise, quick, and ruthless. There's no room for sentiment. This ends tonight." Fury's words were a reminder of the harsh reality they faced. They were soldiers, trained to fight and kill, not for glory, but for a cause bigger than themselves. As the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the water, the team prepared for their approach. Their movements were silent, expertly coordinated. Their training, honed through countless hours of grueling exercises, kicked in. The adrenaline pulsed through their veins, a thrilling cocktail of fear and exhilaration. The boat sliced through the waves, the rumble of the engine a low growl in the twilight. The island loomed closer, its towering silhouette against the fiery orange sky a stark reminder of the danger ahead. Onyx watched the unfolding scene, his mind focused. Every detail, every shadow, every potential threat was imprinted in his memory. He felt the weight of responsibility, the lives of many resting on his shoulders. Fury stood beside him, his hand on Onyx's shoulder, a silent gesture of unwavering support. They were a team, forged in the fires of combat, their bond unbreakable. They were ready to face the storm, to fight for what they believed in, to bring justice to a world teetering on the brink of chaos. Chapter 3. The Shadow of the Nemesis. The air in the abandoned warehouse was thick with anticipation, a tangible tension that hummed beneath the flickering neon lights. Onyx, her heart hammering against her ribs, found herself staring across the cavernous space at the man she'd been sent to apprehend. Marcus Blackwood, a name whispered in hushed tones even amongst the hardened agents of Black Ops, stood bathed in the eerie, flickering glow of a single overhead lamp. He was everything she'd imagined, and more. His eyes, the color of storm clouds, held a knowing glint, reflecting a calculating mind and a ruthless ambition. His broad shoulders and steely jawline spoke of physical strength, but it was the aura of power that emanated from him, a raw, untamed energy that crackled in the air around him, that truly unnerved Onyx. This was the man responsible for countless lives lost, the mastermind behind the chaos that had plunged the world into a state of perpetual unease. This was the man whose darkness Onyx had been tasked to dismantle. "So you finally decided to show yourself," Blackwood's voice, smooth as velvet, sent shivers down her spine. "The little sparrow has finally come out of hiding." Onyx's hand tightened around the hilt of her blade, her knuckles turning white. "You're nothing but a shadow," she spat, her voice laced with ice. "A phantom who hides behind fear and manipulation." The tension in the room became palpable, the air thrumming with unspoken threats. Blackwood chuckled, a low rumbling sound that echoed eerily in the vast space. "Oh, I assure you," he said, his eyes boring into hers, "I am very real. And I am not afraid of you, little sparrow." He took a step forward, his presence dominating the space. Onyx felt a cold knot of apprehension tighten in her stomach, a stark contrast to the fiery determination that burned within. The memories of her past, the ghosts of her former life, rose to haunt her. They whispered tales of betrayal, of pain, and of the immense loss she had endured. But Onyx was a warrior. She would not let fear consume her. She would not let the past dictate her future. She would honor the sacrifices made, the lives lost, and take down the man who had wrought such destruction. The air crackled with electricity. A confrontation, a battle of wills, was about to begin. And Onyx, despite the churning tempest of emotions within, was ready. This was her mission. This was her fight. Asterisk asterisk. The shadows danced around them, a silent audience to the unfolding drama. The warehouse, a silent testament to the insidious nature of the enemy, echoed with the unspoken promise of a battle that would determine the fate of countless lives. Onyx, her heart pounding in her chest, stood poised. The nemesis, with his chilling aura of power, stood before her. The stage was set. The story was about to begin. Chapter 4. A Tempest of Sacrifice. The air crackled with the energy of 1,000 lightning storms. Onyx, his obsidian armor gleaming under the sickly light of the moon, stood amidst a whirlwind of chaos. The enemy, a horde of monstrous, shadow-touched creatures, pressed forward with a ferocity that mirrored the storm raging above. Fury, her silver wings ablur as she weaved through the battlefield, unleashed a torrent of fire, scorching the earth and forcing the enemy back. But their numbers were overwhelming, and the ground was littered with the fallen. Onyx, his heart a drum against his ribs, moved with the grace of a predator, his obsidian blade leaving a trail of carnage in its wake. He felt the weight of every life lost, every scream that pierced the thunderous roar of the storm. He fought with a ferocity born of desperation, his grief fueling his every swing. But amidst the carnage, a flicker of fear sparked within him. He noticed the monstrous leader, a creature of pure shadow, its eyes burning with an unholy light. It was a creature of raw power, its mere presence sending shivers down his spine. As the shadow leader rose, its voice a chilling echo, Onyx knew he had to make a choice. He could stay and fight, risking his own life and the lives of his companions, or he could buy them precious time by drawing the beast's attention. He locked eyes with Fury, a silent understanding passing between them. In that moment, they both knew what had to be done. With a heavy heart, Onyx turned, his blade rising to meet the shadow leader's attack. The battle that ensued was a terrifying dance of fury and despair. Onyx, fueled by desperation and the weight of sacrifice, fought with a power that seemed to defy the very laws of nature. He pushed himself to the limit, his movements blurring into a whirlwind of obsidian. But the shadow leader was relentless, its power growing with every strike. It was a battle fought with the very essence of their souls. In a final, desperate move, Onyx channeled his strength into a single blinding attack. The energy erupted from his blade, scattering the shadow leader and sending a shockwave across the battlefield. The monstrous creature screeched in rage, its form dissolving into tendrils of shadow. As the dust settled, Onyx lay on the ground, his life force draining away. His sacrifice, however, had bought time for his companions. Fury, her eyes filled with a mixture of grief and gratitude, knelt beside him, her hand gently resting on his. The storm raged on, but in that moment, the battlefield felt strangely quiet. Onyx felt the weight of his sacrifice, the weight of the lives he had saved. He had faced his fear, and in doing so, he had made a choice that would forever change the course of their fight. Chapter 5. Shadows and Secrets. The air hung thick with the scent of smoke and blood, the battlefield a tapestry of carnage woven under a sky choked with ash. Onyx, her armor scratched and dented, stood amidst the wreckage of the fallen. Victory had been hard won, yet a hollowness echoed within her. Her mission, the one she dedicated herself to, was irrevocably altered. It had started with a whisper, a fleeting glimpse of a symbol etched on a fallen enemy's armor, a symbol eerily familiar, though she couldn't place it. It had sparked a chain reaction, a frantic search through her memories, dredging up fragments of forgotten dreams, whispers of a past she'd always believed was lost. The truth slammed into her like a physical blow. She wasn't just a warrior, a tool forged for war. She was different. This newfound revelation was a double-edged sword. It brought a sense of purpose, a connection to something greater than the endless cycle of fighting. Yet, it also shattered the foundation of her identity. The very life she'd built, the reason she'd become the ruthless soldier she was not what she thought. It was a lie, woven by others, a truth she hadn't known until now. The realization was like a fissure cracking open her soul, leaving her raw and vulnerable. Her commander, a stern woman with eyes as cold as the battlefield, had sensed her turmoil. She'd offered no comfort, only a grim reminder of their duty, a chilling explanation of how this new revelation changed their mission. Now, Onyx stood amidst the ruins, the weight of her newfound burden pressing down on her shoulders. The whispers of her past echoed in her ears, a symphony of doubt and fear. She had embraced her role as a warrior, a weapon, but what did it mean now? Were her actions, the countless lives she'd taken, all a part of some grand scheme she couldn't fathom? A moral quandary gnawed at her. The enemy, the one they'd just defeated, was no longer a faceless foe. They were connected, their fates entwined by threads of a past she was only beginning to understand. Could she continue fighting, knowing this truth? Could she justify the bloodshed, knowing the consequences, the sacrifices, were for a cause that might be tainted? As Onyx stared out at the desolation, the battlefield a canvas of destruction, she knew this was just the beginning. This revelation was a storm brewing inside her, a storm that would either break her or forge her into something new, something she hadn't dared to dream of. The path forward was unclear, shrouded in shadows and secrets. But one thing was certain. She would face the storm, whatever the cost. Chapter 6. Echoes of the Past. The air shimmered with anticipation, charged with the weight of years of betrayal and unspoken truths. Onyx, her heart a drum against her ribs, stood opposite Blackwood. He was a specter from her past, his face etched with the same cruel smirk that had haunted her dreams for years. The team stood behind her, their faces grim, their weapons ready. "It's over, Blackwood," Onyx said, her voice steady despite the tremor in her soul. "We've come for answers. And justice." Blackwood merely laughed, a chilling sound that echoed in the cavernous room. "Justice? You think you can claim justice after what you did?" His gaze swept over the team, a flicker of something akin to regret crossing his face before being quickly replaced with his usual cold disdain. The confrontation was a whirlwind of accusations and denials, the truth twisting and turning like a venomous snake. Blackwood's lies were woven tight, his words designed to sow doubt and fear. But Onyx, fueled by the ache of her past and the fiery desire for truth, refused to be swayed. "You manipulated us, manipulated the entire army," she spat, her voice rising with each syllable. "You used our grief, our pain, to fuel your own ambition. You abandoned us, left us to die." Blackwood's eyes narrowed, the smirk vanishing. He knew she knew that the truth was far more insidious. It was the truth she had grappled with for years, the truth that had driven her to this moment. A truth shrouded in manipulations, a truth that started before the battle, before the deaths, before the pain. The air grew thick with tension, each word a dagger aimed at the heart of the other. Then, Onyx did the unexpected. She lowered her weapon, her eyes searching Blackwood's. "I understand your pain, Blackwood," she said, her voice soft but resolute. "I know what it feels like to lose everything. But that doesn't excuse your actions. It doesn't justify the suffering you caused." The truth, raw and unfiltered, hung in the air. Blackwood, for the first time in years, appeared exposed, vulnerable. The walls he had built around himself began to crumble, revealing a man consumed by grief and desperate for redemption. The confrontation wasn't about victory or defeat anymore. It was about understanding, about acceptance, about forgiveness. It was about letting go of the past, of the pain that had consumed them for so long. As the dust settled, a bittersweet peace settled over the room. Blackwood's lies had been exposed, his grip on the team broken. The team was no longer defined by their past, but by their shared resilience and their unwavering determination to create a better future. Onyx, her heart heavy with the weight of the journey, finally felt a sense of closure. The storm within her subsided, leaving behind a flicker of hope, a promise of a new beginning. Her journey was far from over, but she had finally faced her demons and found a way to move forward, not just for herself, but for her team, for their future. In the tempestuous world of military fiction, Rebecca Yarros's Onyx Storm emerges as a literary hurricane, gripping readers with its captivating narrative and profoundly moving characters. From the outset, the novel plunges us into a relentless storm of action and adventure. Yarros masterfully weaves an intricate plot that takes us deep into the perilous battlefields of a war-torn land. Amidst the deafening explosions and relentless gunfire, a band of elite soldiers fight valiantly, their lives hanging by a thread. But Onyx Storm is more than just a thrilling war story. At its heart, it's a testament to the unbreakable bonds of loyalty, camaraderie, and the indomitable spirit that resides within every human soul. Yarros brings her characters to life with such depth and authenticity that we feel their every heartbeat, their every triumph, and their every heartbreak. The characters in Onyx Storm are not simply pawns on a battlefield. They are complex individuals, each with their own motivations, dreams, and fears. As they face the horrors of war, they are tested to the limits of their endurance, and it is in these crucible-like moments that their true character is revealed. Rebecca Yarros has an uncanny ability to capture the raw emotions of war, from the adrenaline-pumping exhilaration of battle to the gut-wrenching despair of loss. She doesn't shy away from the harsh realities of military life, but she also shines a light on the moments of hope, resilience, and the unwavering belief in the human spirit that can emerge even in the darkest of times. Heart-stopping action sequences, thought-provoking themes, and unforgettable characters collide in Onyx Storm, creating a literary experience that will resonate long after you turn the final page. It's a must-read for fans of military fiction, suspenseful thrillers, and anyone who believes in the power of the human heart to overcome adversity.